the war in Ukraine rages on, the country faces a demographic crisis, a shrinking population due to migration, a plummeting birth rate, and fighting that continues to take more lives.
Ukrainian officials are reporting a growing number of atrocities across the country from the war with Russia, while U.S. officials warn Russia plans to switch up its game plan with a new offensive.
Imagine walking through your hometown and realizing something's off. The streets look the same, the houses still stand, but the people? Gone. No kids riding bikes, no workers heading to their jobs, just silence. This isn't the plot of a dystopian film. It's happening right now in Ukraine. Since 1991, Ukraine has lost over 10 million people. And since 2022, the exodus has accelerated at an alarming rate.
More than 20 people have been killed in Ukraine during heavy attacks by Russia. The eastern city of Birthrate was worst hit. Ukraine's Interior Ministry says Russian forces fired ballistic missiles, multiple rockets, and drones.
With millions fleeing to Europe, birth rates hitting historic lows, and war devastating entire regions, a chilling question emerges. Is Ukraine even a viable nation anymore? What happens when a country simply runs out of people? Let's dive into this crisis, how it happened, what it means, and whether Ukraine has any hope of reversing it. In 1991, Ukraine had 52 million people.
Ukraine's independence came in 1991. The Soviet Union had collapsed, and as it splintered, a number of new nations emerged. Ukraine was one of the largest. Its population was 52 million. It was 1,200 kilometers from east to west, and with that land came a huge farming sector.
Today, optimistic estimates put it around 36 million. That's a loss bigger than the population of Sweden. And it's only getting worse. Why? 3 reasons. War mass emigration. Collapsing birth rates Ukraine isn't just losing a war, it's losing an entire generation. There are hundreds of ghost towns across Ukraine. Schools with no students, hospitals with no patients, playgrounds with no children. In some regions, over half the population is gone. In others, the only people left are elderly pensioners. For every birth, Ukraine sees 3 deaths. And without young families, entire communities are simply vanishing. In 2022, Ukraine hit its lowest birth rate in recorded history.
War has brought separation. Separation brings sorrow, but also, in devastatingly practical ways, lowered birth rates. Men, women, murals all speak of the impact of the war on family.
Even during World War II, more children were born. Here's the brutal math. In the 1980s, Ukraine saw 750,000 births a year. In 2022, less than 200,000. That's a 75% drop. The result? Ukraine's future population isn't just shrinking, it's collapsing. War doesn't just destroy cities, it destroys futures. Since 2022, millions of Ukrainians have fled to Europe. Some say they'll return, but will they? Many won't. Here's why. Safety. Why return to a country still at war? Opportunities. Higher wages, better education, stable jobs abroad. Integration. Children who once spoke Ukrainian now speak Polish, German, or English. Even if peace comes tomorrow, millions of Ukrainians are gone for good. It's not just anyone leaving, it's Ukraine's best and brightest. Engineers, doctors, scientists, all seeking better lives abroad. This is called brain drain, and it's a death sentence for Ukraine's economy.
At this refugee center in Warsaw, Victoria flicks past photos on her phone of her family's home in Mariupol, or what was left of it the day she got out of the city. Much has changed in nearly 2 months of war, and not much is left of her city.
Who will rebuild? Who will pay taxes? Who will support the aging population? If you're a woman looking for love in Ukraine right now, good luck. The war has taken thousands of young men. Many will never return. Others are wounded, traumatized, or simply missing. This is a huge problem for birth rates. No men equals no babies. Even after wars end, populations take decades to recover if they ever do. Russia, Hungary, and other nations have tried paying couples to have babies. Ukraine could do the same, but here's the problem. It doesn't really work. Why? People need stability, not cash. No one wants to raise a baby in a war zone. The cost of raising a child is too high. In short, money alone won't fix this. What happens when a country has no workers, no soldiers, and no taxpayers? The economy collapses. The government struggles to function. Entire industries disappear.
The citizenship of the newborns is unclear at this point, as is the question of who their legal guardians are. Under Ukrainian law, their biological parents must be present to confirm their nationality.
At some point, Ukraine could reach a point of no return. If you're a woman looking for love in Ukraine right now, good luck. The war has taken thousands of young men. Many will never return. Others are wounded, traumatized, or simply missing. Ukraine has lost over 100,000 soldiers in combat. Many more are missing or captured. And those who survive? Some may never be ready to start families again. For many young women, the answer has been to look beyond Ukraine to Europe, to America, to anywhere they can find stability and love. But for Ukraine's future, this presents a devastating problem. No men, no families. No families, no future. Countries like Hungary, Russia, and even Japan have tried paying couples to have babies. But does it work? You can give people money, but you can't give them security. People don't have kids because they're financially rewarded. They have kids when they feel safe and see a future. Even if they offered me $50,000, I wouldn't have a baby right now.
The babies are all born to Ukrainian surrogates. Their parents are all foreigners, shut out by the war. So every day, babies are brought here to a bomb shelter in Kyiv.
What if my husband is drafted? What if we have to flee again? The truth. Money alone won't fix this. Not when people are afraid to bring children into a country where the future is uncertain. It's not just anyone leaving Ukraine. It's the young, the educated, the talented, engineers, doctors, scientists, the very people Ukraine needs to rebuild. I didn't want to leave, but the job opportunities were better abroad. My salary tripled, my family is safe, and I can actually plan for the future. This is called brain drain, and it's a death sentence for Ukraine's economy. Who will rebuild the cities? Who will pay taxes? Who will take care of Ukraine's aging population? The war hasn't just taken people, it's taken futures. Schools have been bombed, universities have shut down, and an entire generation of Ukrainian children is growing up with interrupted education. Some Ukrainian students continue their education online, but many have fallen behind. And in war-torn regions, children are missing years of school.
Last thing before we go tonight, Ukrainian strong. Kids all over the world are heading back to school this week. And in war-torn Ukraine, the conflict has not stopped determined young people from getting their education. Ukrainian authorities say since the war began, more than 2,000 educational institutions have been damaged from bombing and shelling.
How do you rebuild a country when the next generation isn't being educated? Russia has its own population crisis. Its birth rates are also in free fall. But unlike Ukraine, Russia has a solution: migration and forced relocation. In occupied regions, Russia is replacing Ukrainians with its own people. Ukrainians flee and Russians move in. Over time, entire towns once Ukrainian are no longer. If Ukraine continues to lose its people, could parts of it be permanently lost? One possible solution? Immigration. If Ukrainians are leaving, why not invite others to move? And Ukraine could open its doors to workers from Asia, Africa, and other regions looking for new opportunities. But this idea is controversial. Can Ukraine accept outsiders while maintaining its cultural identity? Ukraine has faced crises before. It has been rebuilt before. But this time, the challenge is bigger than ever. Rebuilding infrastructure, power plants, schools, hospitals, attracting skilled workers back, encouraging young families to stay, restoring trust in the future. The future isn't written yet, but time is running out. Ukraine's biggest battle isn't just for land, it's for its people. And if they disappear, what remains of the nation? What do you think? Can Ukraine recover? Or are we witnessing the slow disappearance of a country? If you found this video eye-opening, hit like and subscribe for more deep dives into global issues.